One of the most common techniques people use while trying to memorize the fretboard is using the chromatic scale to recite the names of each of the notes while moving up and down the strings. Whilst this technique does have some benefits, it actually fails to achieve the goal of learning the notes on the fretboard. Using this approach, you're much more likely to memorize the order of the notes in the chromatic scale rather than learn precisely where particular pitches or notes are on the guitar. This is the game I use to memorize note locations on the fretboard. Step number 1 is to find a particular note everywhere across the fretboard, sometimes on more than one position on a string. I tend to start with the notes of the open strings because then we'll have a couple of cheat strings where we've just got open strings to play. So we're going to start with an E note. Obviously we have the open low string and the 12th fret on the low E. So we're going to play this note everywhere we can access on the guitar. We've got 7th fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D, 14th fret on the D, 9th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the B, 17th fret if you can reach it on the B, open high E, and also 12th fret on the high E. Now that we've got the E notes mapped out across the fretboard, we can move on to step 2, which is to grab a metronome and stick it on 60 BPM. This will give us a nice steady beat to work with. If it's too fast for you, you can obviously slow the metronome down, or you can just hit a note every other beat. So the idea behind this technique is that we have to intrinsically know where the notes are in order to play along with the metronome. It's okay to use the tab initially to learn where the notes are. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're just learning the locations of the E notes. So 60 BPM, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start on the low E string, moving across the guitar. Back down. So step number 3 is to work the BPM up to roughly 100 BPM. At this speed, you kind of have to know where the notes are. You don't have time to figure them out. So 100 BPM is a good point to aim for. So 100 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you know where all the E notes are on your guitar, it's much easier to find the F and E flat notes because they surround the E note. F is always one step higher, and E flat always one step lower than the E that we've just found. Step 4, you now need to repeat the process using the A note, D note, G note and B note. Once you can do this with all of the open string notes, you'll actually know all of these notes across the fretboard. Interestingly, this is actually the entire E minor pentatonic scale mapped across the whole fretboard. And because you'll instinctively know the notes that surround each of the notes you found, you'll actually know all of these notes on the fretboard. Step number 5 is to solidify your knowledge of the fretboard by using different notes to the notes we've already found. So one great game is to work through the entire circle of fifths, find C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, and so on. You can also keep pushing the BPM to really test your knowledge of the fretboard. Once you've played the game for a few weeks, you'll notice a huge improvement in your fretboard knowledge, and this will flow through into your scales, modes, arpeggios, chord voicings, and also your improvisation. You can find a free PDF tab of all the open note locations across the fretboard on my website. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching this one. Good luck, happy practicing, and take care.